Hi. Great. Okay, so I work with an organization by the names of Swahilipot Hub Foundation. We're based in Mombasa. And over here, I'm going to take you through a journey of some of the work that we have done to include young people in climate action. I lead the entrepreneurship and green economy pathway at Swahilipot Hub Foundation. That's actually one of my favorite pictures. We took it during a sudden beach cleanup. It's actually very much important to understand who Swahilipot Hub Foundation is. So we are an impact organization that is solely focused on young people. So our sweet spot as an organization is 18 to 35 years of age. And then, we're based in the coastal city of Mombasa. We've been in existence since 2016. Our mission is to enable the community to develop themselves. We have different communities, like we have entrepreneurs, we have techies, people who care about the environment, right? And our founder is Chief Mentor, who is also actually serving as the advisor to the governor. We have 3 strategic priorities, 1 being youth spaces, 2, partnerships and collaboration, and then 3, positive youth development programs. Youth spaces for purposes of co-working, hosting events, meeting point, and all that. And then on partnerships and collaboration, 99.999% of what we do as Swahilipot is through partners and collaboration. And actually glad that is actually one of the major themes of this particular activity. And then finally, positive youth development programs. Here we're looking to build the agency, capacity, and assets of these particular young people. So capacity in terms of their knowledge, skills, as well as attitudes. So we have 5 program areas. We have tech, we have creatives, we have heritage, opportunity youth and pathways, as well as entrepreneurship support. We have a huge team, 200 people that run our daily activities, right? 200 people. And interestingly enough, of the 200, 98% are actually Gen Z. So for everything you know about Swahilipot, 99% of the people that run the activities of Swahilipot are actually Gen Z. And majorly it's 24 years, that is the median age. We have 22,000 young people in our database. So you can imagine the scale at which we operate. And out of those 22,000, 10,000 of them expressed interest in entrepreneurship. The other 10,000 want to get into employment, right? And 22,000 in our database are those that we've been able to drive transformative outcomes. Out of the 22,000, it's about 1,500. Let's move to the next slide. Great. So in one of our program areas is the green economy pathway. So personally, this is a pathway that I lead. And as a pathway, our goal is to accelerate the transition of Mombasa and coastal region of Kenya to a low carbon and circular economy. But we just don't stop here. Ultimately, we want to be able to generate green jobs at scale, especially for youth, young women, as well as persons with disabilities. So that's our goal as the green economy pathway. And the priority sectors, we have plastic waste, there is electric mobility, renewable energy, regenerative, which is forestry, sustainable construction, and ecotourism. But much of the work that we've done is actually in plastic waste management. And those are our approaches. It's pretty long. I won't really go into everything. These slides are with the technical team. Please feel free to share with them. Let's move to the next slide. I'll do a deep dive on the part that we're doing when it comes to entrepreneurship support. So remember, I talked about 10,000 young people want to get into entrepreneurship, right? So I'll do a deep dive on part of the work that we've done over there. But there basically some of the programs I want to get to highlight is Mombasa Plastics Prize Incubator, as well as Pwani Innovation Challenge. So if you can move to the next slide, please. Great. So one of our programs. So our model as Swahilipot, we don't implement work directly, right? So how we contribute to tackling climate change is through the young people that we support, because we have a fiduciary duty to the young people. And that is one of the programs that we're currently running, known as Mombasa Plastics Prize Incubator, that sought to enable young people to tackle marine plastic pollution by starting businesses. So those are the partners: USAID, Proportion Global, Global Affairs Canada, BrandSpark, Challenge Works, we Swahilipot, as well as Close the Gap. So each of those partners had a role to play, and we as Swahilipot, we also had a specific role to play. So in MPP, we had 36 innovators. These are young people, and a total of 9 ventures. We literally took them from zero revenue. Actually, some of them never even had an interest in tackling plastic waste, to now even businesses that are operational. We provided them with both financial support and non-financial support. For the financial support, that included performance-based grants. And for the non-financial support, as you can get to see over there, networking events such as the Zero Waste Fest, Green Jobs Summit, and thanks a lot, Jacob's Ladder Africa, for having participated in that. And actually, specifically for the Green Jobs Summit, part of the conversation we had with Jacob's Ladder Africa, because by 2023, they're looking to activate 30 million green jobs across Africa. So during the Green Jobs Summit, the conversation was, okay, out of the 30 million, how many of those jobs are you looking to activate in Mombasa, in Pwani region, right? So that's how we're getting to work with Jacob's Ladder Africa. Access to equipment such as tuk-tuk to transport their plastic waste. There is plastic shredders, extruders, field visits to established companies so that they can enhance their learning outcomes, and so much other stuff. Move to the next slide, please. Great. And then another program is Pwani Innovation Challenge, which is an entrepreneurship program and platform to enable young people from coastal region of Kenya to start and grow innovative, scalable, viable, and investable businesses. So the origin story of this particular program also is tied to the origin story of Swahilipot, which is everything happens to be concentrated in Nairobi. I'll actually give examples. Last year, actually early this year, there was a report that was published. Kenya was the top startup funding destination in Africa. Specifically, startups from Kenya raised 672 million USD, and that was across 62 startups. But as Swahilipot, we analyzed, what we came across was that all the 62 startups, in spite of the fact they're actually coming from the green economy sector, such as renewable energy, all of them are based in Nairobi. That is one, that is actually a particular challenge, right? So you're seeing companies like Basigo, like EB, raising huge amounts of venture funding, but you rarely get to see startups from Mombasa and Pwani region raising huge amounts of venture funding. So that is something that we're getting to change with Pwani Innovation Challenge. Those are the partners over there. Keep Skies, the World Bank are the funders. Spineberg and E4 Impact are the management firms. Of course, World Bank doesn't work with Swahilipot directly, so it's through the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry. And then we are the ones actually leading the design and implementation of this. So we have 120 innovators, 84 businesses spread across all the 6 counties in the Pwani region. We have folks who don't even have business, who joined without business ideas, to even folks at the scale stage generating up to like 1 million shillings every month. 16 different industries, from agriculture, waste management, energy, and all that. There was Nathan from Smax Foundation. We actually partnered with them on one of the activities of the Pwani Innovation Challenge. I don't know whether he's still around, but great job, Smax as well. So we typically providing non-financial support. For example, networking events. We just had Pwani Innovation Week just a couple weeks back. We brought them to Nairobi. Some of them we brought them to Nairobi for the Magical Kenya Travel Expo and a couple others. Access to equipment, same case applies to like Mombasa Plastics Prize, but now this is kind of like broad field visits and then capacity building. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, cool. So this is the last slide, and this is just a showcase. Case studies of some of the entrepreneurs that we've been able to get from literally zero revenue to now sustainable businesses that are generating revenue. So the first is Fury's Enterprise that have built a board game that teaches kids about better ways of managing plastic waste. Then the other is Trend Green. You can see over there the ambassador of the US, that is Meg Whitman, sort of like getting to appreciate their eco desk that is made out of plastic waste. And then finally we have Plastec, that is making cooking gas out of recycled plastics. And then another exciting startup that is in stealth that I'm super excited about. We have a huge ocean. They're actually getting to build a robotic arm that will be able to collect plastic waste on the beaches. So one thing that we got to observe when we go to participate in beach cleanups, we only have a tendency of collecting these huge pieces of plastic. So that is the plastic bottles and stuff like that. So actually people come, take pictures, and they leave, right? But then the other thing that we got to observe is that there's actually the macro sort of like plastics, mini plastics that people tend to oversee. And actually turns out that is actually what is even the most devastating. Thank you very much, Jacob's Ladder Africa, for putting this together and for inviting us. And also, get to welcome you to Mombasa, and specifically come check out the work that we do at Swahilipot. Back to you, Abel.